Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Rewind Be Kind. I'm out here in this parking lot and I just wanted to drop a video as a continuation of what I was talking about on yesterday in my video about blackberries. So please go back and watch that video. And at the end, excuse the sunlight, okay, there we go. I am in my truck and I love the sun. Don't get me wrong, it's shining bright. Okay, so what I wanted to do was talk about what I had mentioned at the end of the video as far as dairy being scary, and the fact that about 4 months, I can say 4 months now ago, the Most High told me to stop eating dairy. Yes, stop eating dairy. And as I said on my last video, I thought that was the hardest thing for me to do because I love cheese, all types of cheese. I'm not talking about, cheese slices. Ugh, no, I did not like cheese slices. I'm talking about the brie, the Gouda, just any type of cheese, especially the more bitter the better. And I would, sometimes just make me a little cheese platter just for me with my little fruit, my crackers, my honey, my mustard, and that would be enough for me. And the funny thing about it, this is going to sound crazy, but I know many of you can relate to this. You know that you are going to hurt after you get done eating something. Have you ever done that? Okay, so I said, okay, this is gonna hurt, but it's going to be good going down. Now, how crazy does that sound? Crazy, right? Well, I believe that's our human nature. Whew. Okay, please excuse the glare of the sun. Okay, and I'm in the shade. I parked in the shade, but shine on me. But so I have to go back a little bit to tell how this dairy thing occurred. Okay, so I would say all my life, especially when I was in college, I knew that something was wrong with my stomach every time I ate anything dairy, whether I used it, butter, whether I made my mashed potatoes and used the milk in there, ice cream, even milk chocolate. Anything I ate that was dairy gave me pain. It even got to a point to where I knew that if I ate anything dairy, that I was going to be in a ball. Now, don't that sound kind of crazy that a person know that they are going to be in pain after they eat anything dairy? But that is how much I enjoyed it. Let me roll this window down. Okay, the sun is kind of... Let's roll it down just a little bit so I can get a little air in here. I didn't want to turn on the AC or anything because it gets loud and I don't want to be yelling at you. Don't yell at me. Okay. Anyway, I'm in a good mood today, and I'll probably tell that story too one day. But okay, so here I am, just ate ice cream when I was young. Usually the homemade, the one you turn with the ice rocks and everything, and the real fruit inside. But still and yet, yeah, I was one of the percentiles who was lactose intolerant. And that's the word for it. That's what we heard, lactose intolerant. Okay, and I just said, well, I just have to deal with the lactose intolerance because I'm going to eat my dairy and my cheese, and I had ice cream every once in a while, although I didn't have a sweet tooth. Okay, but I would eat it sometimes. I was really pretty much addicted to, and I know you know about these, the Snicker ice cream bars. Yeah. That's in my 20s. That's what I really love. And it used to be when I was younger, Mississippi Muds. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. See, I can think about it right now, and I'm like, yeah, that poison was delicious. Okay. Okay. So I like I said, I mean, I had a certain taste for certain types of ice cream, so it just wasn't any kind of ice cream that I would go get. Okay, so it got to the point to where it's like, you lactose intolerant, but it can't cause that much pain, and I was just in denial is what I was in, and it just wasn't stomach pains. I was always a tiny like person, so I would look like I was probably 6 or 7 months pregnant after I ate anything dairy. Okay, and when I eat something dairy, it's not control. It wasn't control when I ate like cheese and everything like that. And so it got to the point where I said, well, let me go to the doctor. I did. I believe I was in my early 30s. I finally went to a gastrologist, and he ran all the tests and everything, did the upper lower GI, everything. Even did the I had to take that stuff so they can do I think it's the barium enema, barium something procedure, where they pump the air, make sure you have no tears, make sure, and then, when he did the upper GI, make sure there's nothing there, and then the lower, making sure there's no polyps and things like that. And there's another story to that too, but that's a spiritual one that I'll talk about way another day if if it comes back to me to do so. But so he was like, well, it seems like everything is okay. And he was like, now tell me your symptoms again, because we're not seeing anything that could cause the symptoms that you're saying. And like I told you, I would be in a ball to where it's so funny telling it now, and now I can hear myself, and it sounds crazy. It does. I'm hearing myself now, thinking about, reflecting on all the times I was in pain. And so I was describing it to him again, and then he ran another test, and he was like, well, you may have IBS. That's what he said, IBS. And I said, okay, that's irritable bowel syndrome. And I said, okay, because not only the pain, but okay, you get the bubble and the stomach is cramping, and don't get nervous or anything, then it's just really gonna show I thought lactose intolerance. And he said, well, you have IBS, and he prescribed some medication, and don't take my advice. I'm a very stubborn person when it comes to medications. I will not take them. I just won't take them. So I myself, and pay in mind, this was when, internet was kind of going, it took a long time. It was the dial-up. But I did start doing research on IBS and start learning as far as what foods to eat and what foods not to eat. And yeah, and what food was on there? Dairy. So old smart me said, well, I'll just stop eating all the other foods, the greasy foods, things high in acid, I believe it has said. And so I said, well, I'm not gonna give up, my dairy, my cheese, and all that stuff. I'm just not gonna give it up. That's my happiness. That's my happy place. You hear how that sounds now? And so here in suffering, in pain, and let me say this, I realized it just wasn't stomach pains, and it was inflammation. It really was inflammation. I thought that I was suffering from a rheumatoid arthritis even at my age, because I actually went to another doctor because I started having pains in my joints, at that age, early 30s. pains in my joints, and just pains. And then, to say, the stomach, have the little bird gut right there, even though everything else fit. And then start, a lot of swelling. I would get swelling, especially under my neck, worse than I have, at times that I have now. But I know that's when my cortisol levels go up. I usually get that swelling for sure. That's when I know I need to woosah and figure out what's going on. But so back to the dairy. No, I didn't stop. I didn't. I just didn't stop. Now, I did cut back. I cut back, and I knew that when I went and bought it and ate it, that I had to make sure it was on days that I didn't have to go to work. Yeah, sad, isn't it? Make sure I ate it to where I didn't have to go anywhere that evening to any prior commitments. That's a shame. I mean, but that's how much I would say I call myself loving cheese and dairy. Now, milk was something I just would not drink. Isn't that odd? Think about this. I did not drink milk at all. I was like, that is disgusting. Oh, how can I drink something from, that's from a mammary gland of a cow. That calves drink from their mother, and so it was something that I just couldn't make myself do, is actually pour a glass of milk and drink it. But think of the thinking. Everything else I'm eating is actually made out of that. Okay, but that was my thinking. And even then, I ate clean. I was actually a pure vegetarian then. I called myself, and that's when I heard about pescatarian, where you can, eat some dairy things, if you're a pescatarian. So I said, okay, I'm still eating clean, I thought, and then still getting my fix. I called it my fix because it was. And so I actually went to a doctor to see if I had rheumatoid arthritis, because at my age, and I was very active. I mean, active, I was like an extreme person. I mean, I can ride my bike, for 20 miles, things like that. I would, go running, challenge myself, and and see how quick I can run 5 miles. Crazy stuff. I love climbing the mountains and things like that. So although I stayed fit, and so I didn't understand why I was in pain so much, and then I knew why I would get the swelling. It was every time when I ate dairy. And so when I went to the doctor said, well, it may be a touch or an onset of rheumatoid arthritis, how you're explaining it, but I don't see any evidence of it, and so, of course, they prescribe me pain pills, but no, I don't do that either. I don't do that either. So, go look it up, concerning what is rheumatoid arthritis, and then I realized it's really like, not a doctor, not giving you medical advice or anything, as far as not using a physician or pain pills, etc., etc. Just have to give that disclaimer, because everyone's body is different. And it was inflammation. Inflammation. So, we can be stubborn. We can. We're human, okay? We are human. And so I said, inflammation. So I knew that it was the dairy. I mean, I wouldn't drink milk because, inflammation, it got all this in it, all that in it. There's no way I'm going to drink that. But I would surely eat it in solid form, okay? So after that, I got a little older, in my 40s. It got to the point to where I gave up ice cream completely. I said, well, I'm not gonna eat any more ice cream, okay? And that wasn't too hard for me because I didn't have much of a sweet tooth. But I was not going to give up my cheese, okay? Now, during that age, I think I was like in my mid-40s, even the cheese and anything dairy, the yogurts, the sour cream, things like that, I start seeing it accumulate on my body. Yeah, no matter what I was doing. And I wasn't as extreme then with, my exercise routine, but I was still active. And so I'm like, oh, now I'm picking up weight, as far as getting weight in my back, things like that, and my clothes. I never got on the scale. I'm not a scale person, so my clothes would get tight. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go up another size. But I wasn't equating it with the cheese, or I was in denial. One or the other. Okay, I don't know which one it was. Let's just say, be honest, I was in denial. And so, and let me go back with the IBS. When I did stop the ice cream, yes, the IBS pretty much went away. It really did. I only had slight symptoms of it, and that's when I was in stress. If I got really, really stressed, then I would see the symptoms of the IBS. But putting two and two together, it only came along if I ate something dairy. And this is my experience, not telling anyone not to eat dairy, and I have to do that for YouTube. So I did stop, like in my mid-40s, stop eating ice cream, and then I started diving more into dark chocolate. Yeah, I started then, about my mid-40s, start eating dark chocolate, and everything was okay. But I realized that I started gaining inches as each year kind of went by, and they said that was normal, and I said no, it's not if I'm doing everything that I feel like I should do. I shouldn't be constantly putting on the kind of weight that's fluffy, yeah, in my opinion, to where when your pants become like guillotines, cutting off circulation, and so so then I really started just cutting back on my eating. I just wouldn't give up. I was just stubborn. I just wouldn't give up my dairy. I just wouldn't give up my cheese. So I'm thinking, when I hit the big 5-0, everything changed. I looked in the mirror. I didn't know who I was looking back at. My skin had started getting acne. I would get some acne. I'm like, where did that come from? I look it up. Oh, adult acne. I'm like, no. Okay, no. And I would get what they call it, that GERD. I would get that. That's when you have like indigestion when you lay down, when you go to bed, or when you eat something and you're constantly burping, or the food comes up, and I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to go back to my gastrologist, because this is crazy. Because my husband would say that I eat like a squirrel, and I'm like, if I eat like a squirrel, why is all of this and I call it fluffy puffiness, because it didn't feel right. It just did not feel right. And then my skin, as far as, like I said, with the acne, and then a lot of discoloration, okay, and then a lot of swelling, just a lot of swelling. And Then when I hit that 50, I'm trying to remember everything. When I hit that 50, I started craving sweets. And I found that very odd that I started craving sweets. And of course, those sweets turned back to ice cream. Because yogurt wasn't doing it. I would put some yogurt in the freezer and said, okay, because I'm not going back to ice cream. And bear in mind, it was still in the house because hubby still, ate his ice cream and of all types. And very tempting, okay? But I was strong, as they say. And so the yogurt, frozen yogurt wasn't doing it. I would even, buy actual frozen yogurt, in the grocery store. Excuse me. And that just wasn't hitting it either. That just wasn't doing it for me. And so, yeah, I broke down and started buying some ice cream, and it would probably last in there maybe a week and a half. Sometimes that ice cream would last 2 weeks. Now this is when I turned to Big 5-0. So as years went by, I'm still getting the swelling in the stomach, and it got to the point where I'm like, I don't care, I'm just gonna buy size up, in clothing, and just put those to the side, because one day, that saying, one day we'll get back to it. And some years went by, and I started, I think probably like 53 last year. I don't know what happened, but my gut brain, as they say, was saying you need ice cream. And I listened, and I could not go to the store and buy groceries without having ice cream. And it was a certain type. It was a quality ice cream. Yes, it was. And I could eat that and was just in my happy place. And then would be in a complete ball, be miserable. It started now to where I was miserable for some days after I ate ice cream. So it's like it escalated. I was just a little stubborn, hard-headed thing. And it got to the point to where I said, why am I craving this ice cream? Why? I tell you, I did not understand it. And I even called my son, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I am just craving and addicted to this ice cream. And I don't know why I'm eating this ice cream. I have to have it. It was like at least every night. I would. And I wouldn't go overboard, I would say, but I would go overboard, I would say. Did I just say? Yes, I did. Let me stop. Let me just tell it like it is, okay? So yes, I did go overboard, because, and then, hubby made sure that, we had ice cream, and so I had my fix every night, and I felt good. Now the next 2 days I was in pain, and I was swole, and I'm talking about it got to the point to where I was swole right underneath my stomach, and then I talk about my gallbladder too one day, and that started acting up, and I said, oh, now I know that something is wrong. And then, and I'm not a doctor or anything, but then I started looking up how when many have passed away as they got, in old age, and they passed away, and they would do an autopsy, they would find actual sugar, like glucose, in their brain. And it really scared me. I said, what is going on here? Why am I craving all this ice cream? And I don't have a sweet, but I didn't want anything else. All I wanted was that dairy. That ice cream, that scary dairy is all I wanted. And it was scary to me because it was hurting my body. It was hurting my body. And so I tried to cut back on my own. I really did. I tried. you know how you walk in there and you say, I'm not going to buy any, and you're about to go to the checkout and you just go ahead and make that turn and go all the way around to the frozen aisle. Yeah. That's me. I mean, we'll even get teased at home. Like, I thought you said you wasn't gonna buy anymore. I'm like, I can't help it. I need this, okay? And I believe it went on, you know, me in pain and the GERD, and then the more the aches in the joints, and then the you know, the weight gain as far as inches as I could tell. I think it was, what is this? This is November. So just think how stubborn I am. All this time knowing the culprit, but I just couldn't. I enjoyed it. And about 4 months ago, the Most High said stop eating dairy. No, 4 months ago. And I'm so glad that I obeyed, because I would think that my body, even though I was 54, my body felt like I was probably like 74 or 80. I mean, all my joints, just how tired I was, just how swollen I was, miserable I was, but still went and got that ice cream. I was just miserable. And I'm so glad, like I said, that I obeyed. It was something that I didn't think that I can do. And it took a lot of prayer, self-discipline, because like I said, ice cream and my favorite kind was still coming in the house and in the freezer when I opened the freezer. Yeah, cheese was still in the house. Yeah. And I had to, you know, cook, and I had to make sure, because, you know, he likes cheese, he likes butter, you know, things like that. And so I had to still, and his mashed potatoes and things like that, need the milk in it, so I still had to cook it for him. And it took a lot of self-control. But I think after 2 or 3 weeks, you know, it was so hard. It was. I think after 3 weeks it got easier. So I was stressed, and it was so weird and so funny, because the timing I thought was so weird, because 3 months ago, the Most High called me to, no, 4 months ago, the Most High at the same time called me to do a faith-based channel. I was told, and it was confirmed, and it's called Truth Seeking with Veronica. It's not monetized or anything, and it was sharing the Most High's heart, and giving the word and what I know, and because we're not here for ourselves. And I said, wow, that's an awkward time. I'm gonna give up my comfort food, ice cream and dairy, cheese. I'm gonna give all that up, and I have to do this YouTube channel. I have to be obedient. So if you were to go on that channel and kind of look at me, you could see that I was how you doing? That I was swollen. Just, you know, you could just see it. And I was angry and miserable, because even after I got done, you know, giving the word and everything that the Most High told me to do, you know, for that video, I had nothing to comfort me, because I knew that many times I was going to get backlash, because a lot of the things that I had to say that was from the Most High was for his people, and I needed comfort. But the Holy Spirit gave me strength. Seriously, gave me strength. Haven't had dairy in over 4 months. Yeah. And yes, I have seen, I didn't know I was going to go this long, but yes, I have seen and feel a big difference. Yes. Um, for one, as you can see, and I'm gonna have to do some supplements to find out, to get my collagen, because I have lost a lot of weight in my face. Just after I just noticed it yesterday when I had did that video. I was like, wow, I have really lost a lot of weight. And when you lose your puffiness or fat in your face, you kind of get, I noticed that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, but hey, it's still a benefit. It really is. Because they say, when this slams down, it does give you more of a youthful look. But I just don't. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to find some foods, find some things with a lot with natural collagen in it. And I know some things, but I just want to tackle this, okay? And so also no pains, no joint pains, no stomach pains, no, even my belly is not like I'm sticking out, and have to wear the long shirts to cover, although your pants, cause in pant size, I'm a size 6 in pant size, can go to, an 8. But when I would buckle, as far as the gut part, it was like I could feel it all in my back. It was painful. It really was. Even my bras had gotten too tight in the back. And now, like I said, within the last just 4 months. Now listen, it may have been having changes 2 months, 3 months after, but I had just really noticed it within the last week. And when I did that video yesterday, I said, okay, even, excuse that, that's the airplane going by. Even my pant, now I don't even have to unbutton them. I can just pull them off without unbuttoning them. Weird. So that's like I said, can't say how much weight as far as scale wise, because I don't allow a scale in my home. I go by how my clothes feel. Even my shirts, everything it fits better. Now I have to work more on toning, because all of that inflammation that caused the swelling and the holding the fat in, and then probably feeding all kinds of parasites, because they love sugar, they love sweets. Okay, in my gut biome must have been just so off, causing the brain fog. So yeah, I lost a lot of inches. I don't tape myself either. Like I said, I go by my clothing, and I go by how I feel. I feel better. I really do. I feel healthier. I just feel good. And so I was on YouTube earlier, and I saw Dr. Bobby Price. I hope he doesn't mind me doing this, but he's a doctor. I'm not a doctor. And today he broke down why dairy is scary. Okay, so I was like, oh, well, that's good, because with him being a doctor, I'm just going to put his link in the description of this video, and you could go and watch his video. He breaks everything down, as far as the lactose intolerance, as far as I believe it's the casein and things like that is actually in dairy, and he just goes, just tells everything as far as what it does. And when I was listening to him, I'm like, yeah, actually I felt like it was just breaking me down. It was just breaking my body and my cells down, no matter what healthy I put in me, because I'm a clean eater, so I thought, but with the dairy and everything, that was an exception for me. And he breaks it down, so I'm gonna put his video link down in the description. I believe, if I can remember the title, I believe it's Is Dairy Ruining or Affecting Your Health? I believe that's the title of it. But go and subscribe, and click like and listen to his video, because he really breaks it down. I'm just giving my testimony, and as far as what it has done for me, I see a difference. I see a difference in my skin. I see a big difference. So that's my story on giving up dairy, and how it has really giving up dairy has really I believe enhanced my health. It really has. And once you hear what Dr. Bobby Price says about dairy, then you'll listen to what I was going through, and you'll go, oh yeah, it was killing. I believe it was unaliving me from the inside out, on a deep cellular level. I really do. So thanks for listening. Feel free to comment, and if you if you're thinking about giving up dairy, please put it down in the comments, because we're rooting for you. And yeah, get that out your diet. Get it out of your diet, especially us melanated. They say it's a large percentage of us who are actually allergic to dairy. So until next time, rewind, be kind, and subscribe. Thanks.